Eating in India without getting delhi belly or parasites. After traveling in India for some time, it becomes apparent that the life of hundreds of millions of people seems to revolve around three things: eating delicious food, worshiping God, and doing these two activities with one's extended family and friends. Eating Indian food is one of the best ways to experience the culture, but the trouble for Westerners arises when we eat food that is not clean or even that our body isn't used to. Parasites and foodborne illnesses are so common among travelers in India, it even has its own nickname, Delhi belly. Here are my top tips for avoiding Delhi belly. Only eat piping hot cooked foods, unless it has a peel. Cooking kills almost everything, so this is the best way to avoid getting sick due to bacteria or parasites. Unfortunately, that means avoiding salads, berries, juices, or anything else that's raw, unless it has a peel like a banana. But even with a banana, I would be very cautious. If you're a raw foodist, I truly recommend changing your diet while in India. Eat exclusively at respectable restaurants that are very busy. A busy restaurant is a good bet for two reasons. One, you can be sure it's a place with a reputation for not making people sick, or nobody would eat there. And the high turnover means the food is more likely fresh. It's also important to not eat during off hours, because if you eat after the lunch rush, it means that the food has been sitting out for a while. Eat at upscale places. High-end hotels and restaurants that cater to Westerners are more likely to be clean than a tiny hole in the wall. The 4- and 5-star hotels are the best bet if you want to be certain of truly amazingly delicious, safe food. Again, make sure it's busy, don't eat during off hours, and avoid buffets. Never eat street food. In our experience, the street food in India is notoriously unclean, and it's often left sitting out in the hot open air. Some people brag about how they ate street food and they didn't get sick, but in our opinion, it is simply not worth the risk. I even had a friend who died from an E. coli infection he got from eating Indian street food. This is obviously an extreme case, but I much prefer to play it safe. Probiotics and charcoal are amazing. Probiotics boost the good bacteria in your stomach, improve digestion, and increase natural immunity. They're a great preventative measure while traveling in India and even before your trip. Additionally, charcoal tablets are incredibly effective at stopping diarrhea and preventing dysentery because they quickly absorb the toxins or pathogens in your system that are causing the problem. I also use oregano oil, grapefruit seed extract, and vitamin C as an everyday precaution to help me stay healthy. As always, make sure you get advice from your doctor before taking any supplements. Avoid too much spicy food, especially chilies. Indian food is known for being hot, and while some tourists really like it that way, spicy food can be really rough on your stomach if you're not used to it. In my experience, chilies can act as a laxative, which probably isn't something you want when you're constantly combating Delhi belly anyway. Consider becoming a vegetarian while you're there. India has the lowest meat consumption rates in the world, and beef is even actually banned in some areas. The meat that we have seen in India usually looks really unsafe and is often hanging in warm, open-air environments with flies buzzing around. If you can, we really recommend becoming a vegetarian when you're in India. So much of the food available is meatless anyway that you won't be missing it much. I'm personally a big meat eater, but when I go there, I don't touch the stuff. Consider trying some local fruits. There actually are several fruits in India that are excellent for helping to prevent you getting sick. These include pomegranate, guava, and coconut, which all have been shown by the National Institutes of Health to have amazing antibacterial and antidiarrheal qualities. This being said, it is still a bit risky, and honestly, I don't usually go there. But if you are craving a pomegranate, a guava, or a coconut, just make sure that you wipe the outside really, really well first, and that you are the one cutting it with a clean knife. Try not to overeat. Eating too much will weaken your digestion and your immunity, which makes you an easy target for bacteria. This is a pretty simple point, but the only times we've gotten sick in India were when we didn't follow this rule. Also, avoid having too many heavy foods such as fried foods or Indian sweets. They're super delicious, but just eat them in smaller quantities. Wipe off your utensils. Plates and silverware at restaurants are often pretty unclean because they've been wiped with a dirty dishcloth or not really washed properly. For this reason, even in nice restaurants, I recommend wiping your eating ware with a paper napkin or sanitized alcohol wipes before you eat. Try eating with your hands. It's really fun. Your hands are often the cleanest utensil since you know where they've been, and the joy of eating with your hands in India is well worth trying. It's actually considered culturally very normal, so you'll fit right in. Just remember to always wash your hands and use hand sanitizer first.